Hello everyone, my name is Crystal and I'm pretty excited today to talk about some of the birds I'm lucky enough to work with. This is Tallow, she's a cockatoo. Now we're here today to talk about the difference between cockatoo species and macaw species.
So Tiago is a blue and gold macaw. So there are actually 17 different species of macaw, the largest of which is the hyacinth, and those guys can get to over a metre in length. So they can be some very big birds. Now here at the zoo we do have blue and gold macaws, and we also have green wing macaws.
So this is what's known as a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Now worldwide we are home to 21 cockatoo species. Now here in Australia there's around 14. Now they can range from your yellow-tailed black cockatoos to your more familiar sulphur-crested cockatoos. They're the big white ones with yellow crests, and sometimes even down to your smaller cockatoos.
So macaws are actually native to Central and South America, whereas our cockatoo species tend to be found more in the Australasia regions of the world. Now, in terms of their habitat, these guys are native to those rainforest regions, whereas our cockatoos are a little bit more widespread, and depending on the species, they can be found in lots of different habitat types. So in terms of their diet, they actually do share a few things in common with our cockatoos. So just like cockatoos, these guys do love their seeds, fruits and nuts, and they'll use that big strong beak to crack open those delicious seeds and nuts. Now they do tend to live together or in pairs, and they can often be found foraging together as well, whereas our cockatoos will be found in bigger social groups with lots and lots of individuals.
They have a really strong social dynamic, so it's not just one cockatoo going out to feed. Over daytime, they will disperse out in their family groups and they will forage for their food as well. So they will use that big strong beak to chew through branches and nuts and things like that. So it's mostly just their beak, but they will use their beautiful feet to hold food items as well. As you can see Tallow displaying, say hi, her footsie as well. Fun fact, their feet is what's known as zydactyl. Now that does mean they have 2 forward-facing toes, and I don't know if you can see, but they have 2 back-facing toes as well. Now they are designed just for perching, so that helps them balance on their branches when they're getting swayed in the wind and things like that. As you can see, she is capable to use that beak to crunch through some pretty big nuts. However, things like your macadamia nuts, yes, that is a favourite for your cockatoos. They can't actually break that nut straight away. But what they will do is they will use that beak and they'll try and rotate the nut with that tongue, and they'll get to weaker points, and that's how they're able to open their food.
So as you can see, they do use that big strong beak to crack open their seeds and nuts. Now, macaws being a slightly bigger bird than our cockatoos, those beaks are a little bit bigger as well, which definitely comes in handy for breaking open bigger seeds and nuts. Just like our cockatoos, our macaws will use their feet just like we use our hands. So these guys will use those feet to help them explore the world around them and find and open their food as well.
So your yellow-tailed black cockatoos in particular, you can tell the males and females apart just by looking at them. Yes, they are slightly bigger, but they actually have a different coloured beak. So Tallow is a girl, so she has a white beak, whereas the males, they have a black beak. And you may have noticed the yellow bits on her cheeks, they're much larger than a male would have too.
Now, one of the other really cool things about our macaws, which is a little different to our cockatoos, is their face. So if you guys can see, Tiago actually has a lot of bare skin on that face there with some really beautiful little black feather lines. Now, whereas our cockatoos have feathers all across that face, these guys have some bare skin, which will actually blush when they get a bit excited, and those beautiful black feather lines, which are actually unique to every single macaw. So they're a little bit like a fingerprint. So in terms of their feathers as well, there are some slight differences, with our macaws being quite a bit larger than our cockatoos. Now that doesn't go for all macaw species, as there are some that are quite small, but with our blue and gold macaws in particular, they are quite a bit bigger than our cockatoos. So those wingspans are quite a bit larger with some beautiful long tail feathers too. So those tail feathers are quite a lot longer than the more rounded tail feathers that our cockatoos tend to have.
Well, their wingspans actually really do vary. Some of your smaller cockatoos, like your pink cockatoos, they're quite small. However, Tallow, she's one of your larger cockatoos. She can have a larger wingspan as well. Being a female, her wingspan's bigger than the males. So that's a really cool fun fact as well. Their breeding is quite unique. They do nest in things like tree hollows. They will work together as parents to raise their chicks as well. So that's really cute.
So So in terms of breeding, these guys will actually use their beak to help them excavate nests. So that big strong beak will come in really handy to help them carve out areas inside tree hollows, where they'll use all those shredded bits of bark and leaf litter, mulch, all of those kinds of things to line that little nest hollow. Now when they do lay their eggs, they usually only have 2 to 3 eggs at a time, and these guys will spend a lot of time raising their chicks. So when those chicks do hatch, they will stick very close to mum and dad for quite a while as they start to grow up and learn to fly. Now, one of the things that our cockatoos and macaws do share in common is their lifespan and also their intelligence. So again, just like cockatoos, these guys will live for a really long time, up to around even 80 or 90 years of age, and they're about as smart as a 5 or 6-year-old child. So with that kind of lifespan and intelligence, they can be a really big commitment to take into your home. So that's why here at Australia Zoo, we do spend a lot of time each and every day making sure that these guys have plenty of enrichment, exercise and training as well. So getting our birds out and about, actually free flying in the zoo, is a really important part of their enrichment and training as well. We do get to take them all around the zoo, and Tiago is actually one of our free flight birds as well. So when you come to visit, you may see him out and about flying.
So Tallow is trained for free flight, so she usually flies from point to point, or on some days she might sit in a tree for a while. Free flight means free choice, and we adapt to that as well. She does know a couple of different behaviours. She knows how to wave, so good, and she will get a treat for that as well. So we always use positive reinforcement here at Australia Zoo.
So just like cockatoos, macaws are a very loud bird. They can make some really, really loud vocalizations when they want to, and they will communicate with each other through those vocalizations and also through the blushing with their face as well. So they will use not only their vocals, that blushing, and also their feathers to communicate with each other.
Oh, you would definitely know if you saw a cockatoo. They're very rambunctious, they're very loud. You'll see them flying across the sky in flocks, and you will hear them before you see them. You might even see them at the tops of the trees, just ripping apart branches and getting stuck into nuts and berries and things like that. So you'll know when you see one.
Yeah, good job! So one of the biggest ways that we can help to protect these guys in the wild is protecting the habitat that they live in. So those beautiful rainforests, one of the biggest causes of decline are actually loss of those rainforest habitats. So one of the best ways that we can get involved and help is just to clean up our own rubbish each and every day, making sure that we're popping them in the correct bins and recycling appropriately as well. And it will help go a long way to keep these guys' habitats nice, safe and clean for them. Thanks so much for joining Tiago and I today. We hope you've learned something. We're off to go and finish our training for the day. Thanks, guys.
Watch out! Whoa, 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 whoa. Danger, danger, danger. I thought you clicked on that. Now, whatever you do, don't click on it. That's danger, remember? No clicking. No clicking.